digital innovation to marketing, there is a place for young people, for the youth like you and me. How can we do this? Education and skills development. We can invest in practical training, blending in traditional agriculture, knowledge with modern science. Voice and participation. We as the youth have to participate in all agriculture practices. We must be involved in what's happening in our environment. Government should come up with youth-friendly policies that actually support these youth, that will actually empower them. Conclusion. Empowering youth in sustainable agriculture is not optional like many things. It's actually an essential thing. It's a strategic investment in food security, environmental resilience, rural transformation, and inclusive economic growth. To the youth here today, you are not the farmers of yesterday as you think. You are the innovators, the great minds, the best innovators of tomorrow. You are the energy, creativity, and entrepreneurial spirit. Exactly what this sector needs. You're what we need at this very point as the agricultural sector. To the policymakers, educators, investors, and developers, partners, let us stop asking whether young people are ready for agriculture and start asking whether agriculture is ready for the great young people. Together, let us cultivate not only crops as we think, but the great opportunities, the large and big opportunities out there. Let us sow seed but hope. Let us build agricultural value chains that are real, inclusive, and youth-driven from field to fork. Thank you so much.
Great applause to Namulondo Peace. Oh, wow. Thank you for the beautiful speech. That was the navy blue color. We are ushering in Alimo Faye from the green color. Is the green color available? Are we there? Okay, let us welcome our representative for speech. Meanwhile, all the teachers who are supposed to go out to shop for the different colors, please meet Madame Ampafo, Martha, the Pastor Maureen, Sekasiko, Mrs. The chief guest of them. Okay, can I have Limo Faye?
A wise man once said, poor is one who is not seeking to have an idea, and the poorest of them all is one who has an idea but does not know how to harness it. That is the poorest person. Good morning, everyone. My name is Alimo Faith, and I'm a student of Iganga Secondary School, and I'm also a public speaker. Now, I have a candle, and its flame is wavering. It's almost being blown off by wind, and even if it wasn't, it is not so bright. That candle of mine is very dim, and I'm sure that its light will not reach every corner of the room. That is my candle. What am I trying to say? You see, I live in a country, we live in a country where the job economy is not so. We live in a country where white-collar jobs are very rare. Most of us go to school to get white-collar jobs, and to me, exclusive, I want to be a lawyer. That is why I go to school. White-collar jobs are 5 in a million. That is why we are here today, to find a lasting solution to tomorrow where white-collar jobs are not there. We are here today to create a lasting impact to tomorrow. That tomorrow where you will not get to be a lawyer, where you will not get to have the white collar job. That is why we are here today. Today, we are here to be fostered with skills and entrepreneurship, to know what we're supposed to do. To know that if I have millet in the garden and it's too much, what am I supposed to do? Make a millet cake. Today I'm here to learn that if I have a lot of milk in my farm, I'm supposed to make ice cream out of it, right? Today I'm here to learn that if I have a lot of fruits, I'm supposed to make juice from it, right? It is through fostering me with skills and entrepreneurship that I'm able to do this. Well, that, well, this government is coming up with friendly policies to enhance the value chain. I should also be working. And every girl and boy out there that I hear today should also be working on looking at this value chain.
Great thanks to Alimo Faye of Green Color. Green Color, can I hear you shout loud for your representative? Alimo Faye. Having heard from Alimo Faye, we are going to hear from Abe Ruth of Grey Color, and then later after her we shall have Miriam Nafula of Turquoise. So can I have Abe Ruth? Abe Ruth.
Also, thank you for listening.
Okay. Can I therefore have, I warned you about this, judges note that they brought the representative who is not around. That means the person who faced that. That is Grey Color, they have no representative. So we have now Fula Miriam for Turquoise.
Yes, madam.
My speech will begin in 3, 2, 1. What kind of environment are we living for the next generation? Are we proud of it, or are we ready to change it? Our dear judges, the fellow campers, and ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. My name is Nafula Miriam. I'm from the Turquoise Color. The future of our food systems. I believe that when young minds meet fertile soils, they grow not just crops, but legacies. Today, I invite you to work with me into the future where empowered youth lead a sustainable agricultural value chain. As young people, we have a unique opportunity to transform the way we produce, consume, and interact with food by embracing innovation practices like value addition, technologies, and sustainable methods like irrigation systems. We can create a more resilient food system. As youth, we must take a lead in changing this society. We can start by adopting climate resilient practices, reducing wastes, and promoting agroecological farming methods. We can leverage technologies, enhance efficiency, access to markets, and share knowledge. By empowering youth in sustainable agriculture value chain, we can unlock a wealth of opportunities from entrepreneurship to employment, from food security to food stewardship. Let us harness our energy, creativity, and passion to revolutionize the agriculture sector. Let us work together to build a sustainable value system through joining companies like Toke Clubs, SAMs, so that it benefits our communities, our environment, and economics. We therefore call upon the government, non-government organizations, and all other well-wishers to empower the youth through providing finances, land, and modern tools like drones, sensors, mobile apps to make agriculture smarter, faster, and more productive. The negative perception that farming is for the poor and the uneducated should be broken through empowering, training, and support from the well wishers. The bias can be changed from a challenge to an opportunity. Schools can start up school gardens, teaching agribusiness and hosting events like farm camps to inspire students. In conclusion, empowering youth in sustainable agriculture is just not a necessity, it's an opportunity. Let's raise to that challenge, harness and
After this, the judges will determine, but I think they will have to first go for the first round of debate, and then they will announce to us the two who will have qualified for the finals for speech. Can we have Bachibinga, Kirabo Cynthia?
Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Bachili Natural Cynthia from Iganga SS. Every field begins with a path. This path not just carved through soil, but through history, innovation, and resilience. Agricultural pathways are more than roads. They are like chains strongly tied together. They are journeys we take to feed the world. But remember, the young trees are the ones that make the forest. So this history of our field is to be maintained by the youth, for they are the young trees. But how? Through capacity building and skills development by training the youths in modern climate and digital agriculture practices. And the only way to pave our way with no mud but so clear and so clean is by providing productive and affordable credit loans and grants tailored and needed for the youth, because we all believe that it is the young trees that make up the forest for tomorrow's production. And where every shortcut adds to 2 hours of quickness, tech and innovation by promoting digital agric, mobile apps, and precision farming should be employed to the youth. And if it is to work as smooth as a tractor, ride over potholes or mocking the rough uncomfortability of this problem, farms and road experience through market integration by establishing cooperative societies and youth producer groups should be put in place for the youths to be empowered to come and take up these pathways. So if this is done, then the pathways to the youth sustainable agriculture value chain will be made easy for remains central to our economy and livelihoods is agriculture. So this is the backbone our country lies on. Thank you.
Where's my microphone?
Okay, I'm going to usher in the debaters right now. However, let me make this clear that depending on who the judges shall have picked on as the best two for speech, they are going to present this when the guest is here, and definitely it's going to be afterward, after anthems. Then we shall have that presentation done, and then we continue with the exhibition of stores. However, my main aims, co-aims of the day, who is none other than Mr. Badaza Simon, shall direct us on what to do, because the other co-MC has insisted on doing the media part of it. You can see him. So let me usher in the debaters. And the debaters, the order is Cream first, Turquoise next, Gray next, then we shall have Green and Navy Blue coming as number 5. So allow me to take this opportunity to invite Bahat Ismail on behalf of Cream Color. The teachers who are going for shopping, please, can we get moving? Okay, Ismail, you are moving.
Once again, my name is Ishmael Bahati, a student of Soka College, Mwiri, and I'm representing the green color. Result. This house believes that innovation in agriculture should be youth-led to ensure sustainability in the value chain. Let me make you understand the motion. Whereby the first one is innovation in agriculture, whereby this will involve the use of technology, which will contribute to the step up in the agricultural sector of Uganda. Then the next one will be youth oriented, whereby this is in the number of the youth in Uganda, it's like the people in Uganda. The youth contribute to 70% of the population in Uganda. So whereby yes, if we are to receive the youth, we can take the 70%. We take the majority other than the minority of that percent. So we have to prioritize using the youth. Then the third one, sustainability in the value chain. Whereby if we are carrying out agriculture an entrepreneurship, this should benefit all, but not only us, but also it should benefit the environment. So let me go straight to my arguments, whereby we have been three. The first one is digital natives. The second one, oriented thinking. Then the third one is innovation culture. Whereby the first one, digital nature. youth are adept, whereby like if you see the word adept means like having more knowledge about something. So like youth are more adept with technology. Like let's take an example of AI, drones, data analysis and other things. So like if we had like to carry out like if we had preparators to use to do such things, then it would be better. Because like if you're using the 70%, you have to prioritize the 70% other than using the 30%. Then the second one, future oriented thinking. Young people are more climate aware. Young people are more climate aware and environmentally conscious. Like if I see this, let's take an example of the new curriculum. Like clubs are being formed in schools. Clubs like the environmental club, SWAS, and others. It's like the name was meant to be like teamwork and other things like group work, discussions and other things. They're like that's what innovation as a generic culture, innovation culture and entrepreneurship, whereby culture supports innovation, innovation empowers entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs redefine culture. Like if you take example like culture supporting innovation. Like I as personally, I take example of the cargo pants. It has been innovating like just from like normal pants. So like it has become a culture like whereby guys okay, like normal people like people buy them. It has been like a culture to people. People have like they took it as a culture. Right now, speak of now, there are guys around who have it. Then innovation empowers entrepreneurs. Like if I see the entrepreneurs, like if they see like someone has come up with something better, they would like work harder like to raise competition and other things like this will like promote competition, like the innovation will grow higher and that's how the innovation empowers entrepreneurs. Then entrepreneurs redefine culture, whereby the entrepreneurs after like they come up with something new, like let's take an example of the youth, like if they go by agriculture, if they take agriculture,
Is that over? Either? Oh, the microphone. Years before. Years before.
Okay, thank you, Ismail, representing the cream color. Cream, can you please applaud our representative? Right about now, I'm going to usher in none other than Shawl Ajak Deng, representing the Southwest color. The time being used by debaters is strictly 4 minutes.
My debate to begin. 1, 2, 3. Now, so this house believes that innovation in agriculture should be youth-led to ensure sustainability in the value chain. Now, it is important to understand the existence of this motion. Why, at the first place, it is there. Now, the spirit of this motion is quite simple. Currently, we have things like land degradation, poor agricultural practices that aim to affect food chain. To that effect, the resolution therefore brings for us a solution that would address this problem. Then according to the motion, the solution that would address this problem is either the youth or the other people. Now, looking at the key terms of this motion, we shall be looking at innovation in agriculture. Now, what's innovation in agriculture? Innovation in agriculture simply refers to the new modern techniques of using of farming, such as drone AI for monitoring crops, look at climate smart agriculture, look at the growth of BSS, etc., etc. Now, what do we consider to be youth-led? Youth-led simply means the youth are not only participants in this game, they are actually the main leaders, the main initiatives that actually do drive the program. Now, what is sustainability? Sustainability means to have long-lasting impact. What does it mean? It means to remain, to ensure that it adapts to the main trends of this era. Now, what is value addition in food chain? It means to ensure that we make more products out of the existing things that we are having. Then food chain is simply the food process and the etc. etc. Now, why do we argue for? Now, in this place, I'm going to be affirming. Now, why do we affirm this motion? I bring you five main arguments. One, the adaptability of the youth. Two, the new energy and creativity. Three, the demographic favor. Four, the unemployment that we are having here. And five, the impact that the youth bring. Now, when we look when we look at the adaptability, youth are people who fit in trends. They actually are capable of staying in any environment that is presented to them. That is what youth. That's what the modernity and the old people do not do in this particular debate. So it is irrelevant for us actually think that the older people can manage the driving of this thing. Now, secondly, I'm going to look at the new energy and the creativity that youth brings. When you look at Kenya right now, youth have actually developed an app that they call M Farming. This M Farming does a lot of pricing strategy. It advertises farms and etc. That is what we have never seen in the era of the old generation. To that effect, it is unfair for you to ignore the youth, thinking that they do not bring this creativity. Secondly, we look at long-term impact. Now, by the time you reach the older age, it is actually important for us to understand that the period you will be doing in the field are actually less compared to the period or the time that the youth do. What does it mean? These innovations, if they are for granted to the older people, it means one, they're actually going to be of short term. That's what we don't want in this particular debate. Secondly, we think that when we give youth these initiatives to be the leading innovators. What do we see in this place? During the past era, we used not to see things like climate smart agriculture. We used not to see things like drone AI. But in this current era, we realize that the youth are do bring it. And when they bring it, it ensures that there is food sustainability. Remember, it is important to note that the main spirit, the reason as why we are debating this argument is which side do have that good value chain, which side presents value. Now, another thing we're going to look at is the demographic favor. Now, it is important for us to understand that according to the YouGov statistics of 2024, we realize that youth leads at 75%. What does it mean? It means youth are the majority. And moreover, according to the same report, when it was again reviewed in January, it means what does it mean? If we look at this report that was reviewed in January, it means 83% of the youth that graduate do go unemployed. What does it mean? If you make them be the leaders of innovation too, they're not only just going to improve on the agriculture, but secondly, we're going to also create jobs for these youth. That is what has not been exempt. Remember, in Uganda currently, unemployment is a problem. And when you give youth to be the leaders of these innovations, what do? You create jobs for them. And that is what we think the other people do not bring. Now, somebody can come and argue here, thinking that youth do not have the resources, youth actually are inexperienced. Yes, it is important, much as inexperience of the youth is there. But it is important for you to know that this technology outshines the experience. And however, what does it mean for you to be experienced? To be experienced does not necessarily mean that you are old. It means you have to be active in that particular field. That's what we are not seeing that the youth bring. Now, in summary, we are not going to argue that the elder people should not actually engage. But we are saying these people should collaborate. These people should collaborate with the youth being the main drivers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joel Ajak Deng. Joel Ajak Deng of Tapas Kala. The Tapas members, where are you? Was it good enough? Okay, the judges will tell us. And I, therefore, at this particular moment, have the lady representing gray color, that is Ndagano Erina Wisdom.
So that's good. When they have used the one 3 minutes, now tell them one so that they know they have used
Seeing this too much bright light. Can
It's
we
too
switch
bright.
somehow? No, I get an umbrella.
It's okay. Just a minute.
Where you get to represent an umbrella? Gray, Gray, get an umbrella for your presenter.
Could I also have Mulonji Chloe? Senior 4, come over here. Mulonji Chloe. You need to meet Mr. Tumusime Silva.
Gray, hurry up.
I think
I begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. Judges, expect this from my speech. One, proper framing, characterization, and why we feel like the youth should spearhead the innovations in agriculture to ensure sustainability in the value chain. But then, let us first look at where this debate exists. Well, this debate is contextualized in developing countries such as Uganda, whereby agriculture is the backbone of the economy. Now, shall we understand this is where the major money that the country needs comes from. But then, we must also understand that to make sure that these countries become developed, this particular sector must be improved. That means this calls for innovative ideas and more creative minds. But then, we understand that who's going to come up with these innovative ideas? Well, let's first understand this country of Uganda. Well, Uganda is one of the countries known as the youngest countries in the world. That means the biggest population are the youth. And you look at the youth, you must understand the kind of people that youth we are looking at. Well, we believe that these youth in Uganda occupy 75%. And according to YouBus, in the statistics which were taken this year, states that a youth is a person ranging from the age of 18 to 30. And you believe that these youth are characterized for being curious, people who love to be engaged, people who are exposed to new technology, people who are innovative, and people who are willing to take risks. But then, before I go any further, I just understand what the value chain is. When we talk about the value chain, this refers to a range of activities involved in bringing a product from its initial stages, that means that in the raw materials, up to the final stage whereby a person is going to use that product. But then, let's understand the reason as to why we today would like to involve the youth to spearhead this fight. Well, we must understand that these youth are the people we have talked about being exposed to new technology. Let's look at an example of drones. Now, understand that these youth are people who are being exposed to these new technologies. Well, despite the fact that we have talked about them having being curious people, with their curious mind, they said, what can I do to make an impact on society? What can I do that technology I'm exposed to make sure I get a name in society? So by using all the creative minds we have talked about that the youth have, they'll look at a problem in a different and say, how can we solve it based on the kind of people we're dealing with today? So with their creative mind, they're going to come up with new innovative ideas. They're going to come up with new projects which are going to ensure that there's sustainability in the value chain. But just understand how do these stakeholders who are the youth going to benefit from it at the end of the day? We understand that once the youth are involved in this, one, the youth are going to be able to get jobs. Because we understand today that most youth who finish their studies, they end up lacking jobs. So we understand by the fact that we make them state something to spearhead this fight, they're going to be able to get jobs. They're going to get an opportunity of getting money. Now we are going to be solving a problem of unemployment at the end of the day. So we realize we shall be killing two birds with one stone. And then, you must also understand that we understand these youth are aimed at breaking traditional barriers. What do you understand by this? Yes. So we understand that the youth are willing to challenge outdated methods and are willing to challenge outdated methods and adopt new approaches that are friendly. But within they're going to combine this modern science with the general knowledge that they have. Because we believe that these youth want what impact can I create in society? Because we look at the already existing farmers, they look at the youth as people who are unexperienced, people who are impatient, but we understand that once you give them this opportunity of challenge whatever is already existing, they're going to go solve the problem which is already at hand. So we look at this, since we have looked at the elders have been solving the problem already, but now by giving a chance to these youth also try out something new, you're going to have better solutions. Because you're seeing the adults who have already been existing have tried, but now let's give a chance to these new people. And understand that our future generation people. We understand that these people already existing. At some point, they are going to die. Then the future is going to be left in the hands of the youth. So by giving them this exposure to handle this project, they are going to be able to solve the problem at the end of the day. So I conclude by saying that the youth should spearhead the fight, promoting sustainability in the value chain. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Edna Wisdom Dagano, representative of Grey Color. Grey, where are we? Round of applause to our representative. Before I call on the next participant, can I want to have the following 4 people who are going to lead us in the anthems. We shall have the order of the anthems is very simple. Uganda anthem. We shall have the East African anthem. We shall have Busoga anthem, and then we shall have our school anthem, Iganga School anthem. So can I have the 4 people who are ready and be ready and organize yourselves in the order of those. Okay? Okay, fine. That said, allow me the allow me usher in Kwegemia Sharifa for greenhouse. Hey, green color, not house.
I'll begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. Resolve. This House believes that innovation in agriculture should be youth-led to ensure sustainability in the value chain. Now, Chair, before any resolution comes out, it means there is a problem happening in status quo. The problem we are having in Uganda today is that we are having the old generation leading the agriculture, and this is why we are having things like climate change. This is why we are having traditional systems in agriculture. Understand that even our parents, most of them do not even understand how to use smartphones. Chair, we are facing this problem because the old generation is leading agriculture, whereby only 30% of the youth are involved in agriculture as I speak today. That means that we're having things like agriculture. That's why we're having things like poor youth. We're having things like importing things from outside countries. Now, Chair, the resolutions today states that youth should be empowered in ensuring sustainable value chain. This means that youth are not going to work alone. No. The resolution says that youth should be the primary stakeholders in empowering a sustainable value chain. What does primary mean? Primary means they should be at the front line. Someone may come and say youth lack experience. It is okay. Youth are going to face a high risk now, Chair. What I want to encourage is that we maintain an intergenerational cooperation where the old generation who have the experience is cooperating with the youth today to ensure a sustainable value chain. What does a sustainable value chain mean? You realize that the old generation today is focusing on producing goods and selling them. That is what they focus on. But a sustainable value chain simply means ensuring that we are getting the food from the producer to the final consumer, but while ensuring environmental friendliness, economically viable, and socially responsible. Now, Chair, I want to introduce a principle to the House today, a principle of responsibility. Responsibility simply means that everyone has the right to protect the environment. Chair, how does the old generation then leave out the youth in something which concerns everyone? It means the youth also are responsible for the environment. That is why we as Team Affirmative come here today to say that youth should be the primary stakeholders in ensuring a sustainable value chain. Now, Chair, this has been seen in countries like India, Kenya, Tanzania, South Africa, and today agriculture and climate in those countries many more times better than how it has been in the past 10 years. Now, Chair, I want to look at things like the characterization of the youth. Youth are people who are highly creative. Youth are people who are actually open to learning. These are people who can easily be influenced and do something new. These are people who are curious to know anything new and they're willing to bring it to the table to show something that has been done. Yeah, we believe that the innovation can be done by using technology in agriculture. How does the technology then come in? You realize that the youth today are the ones who know the ICT knowledge. I've already told you that the old people, even many parents of today, don't even know how to use smartphones. So how then do you expect a mature person to use irrigation? They don't even have that knowledge. That is why we come and tell you that we want the youth engaged in technological advancement in agriculture. Why? Another thing why the youth should be engaged is they look at long-term. Youth are people who are not going to die tomorrow. You still have a lifespan. They look at the old people, someone because I'm a farmer and I own my farm, I'm going to die tomorrow, and because the youth, my children, I did not teach them agriculture, my farm is not going to end there. But we empower them, so we are grooming the tree from the we are grooming the children that are going to use the generation of tomorrow. We are building youth that are actually going to take the economy further. Now, yeah, another thing is youth have an entrepreneurial mindset. Youth are not no youth is going to invest their time in something that they're not going to benefit from. Youth are going to put their time sometimes just to agriculture because they are bigger than enough. And at the end of the day, we're going to have things like employment. Understand that many youth today are not employed. Many things what having things like high crime rate. We're having things like youth being imprisoned every now and then. But if youth are engaged in agriculture, we're going to have employment at the end of the day. We're going to have long-term impact on agriculture at the end of the day. We're going to have innovation. We're going to have technological advancement. And at the end of the day, a country like Uganda is going to stop investing money in importing agricultural produce. A country like Uganda is not going to have a debt burden anymore because one, youth are leading the technological advancement and we're going to have effective production at the end of the day. I rest my case.
Okay. 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 Thank you so much, representative of green color, and that was Kweganya Sharpa. The green color, where are we? Hey, applause to our person. Lastly, we are going to have one man, Rauda of navy blue color. Nambi, Precious and Babilie, blessing can meet Mr. Soba Jimmy the baker right now. Okay, you go to the bakery. Full stop. Okay, let us have Rauda to represent the navy blue color.
The other ones are long. I don't know.
Okay, I'll begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. This House believes that innovation in agriculture should be used to ensure sustainability for the value chain. So now, Chair, I want you to understand that in this kind of resolution, there is a problem that's being solved at the end of the day. The resolution has not just been come up with for no reason. We see that at the end of the day, we are solving a problem of inefficiency of innovation in agriculture. We see that yes, innovation is there. It can be done by the old people, it can be done by the youth people. But then, Chair, why are we choosing the youth in this kind of debate today? So, Chair, we say the youth, not the old people, because, Chair, as we're looking at a mother and a baby, we see that a baby is more important because this is a person who has just been brought up. But then looking at a mother, this is a person who's fragile. This is a person who's not energetic enough. This is a person who has lived for a lot of time. So, Chair, we see that in this kind of case, we need a baby more. So we need the youth lead innovation in this kind of house. So, Chair, we see that the youth are more energetic. We see that they are more energetic, living along the old people who have vulnerable minds. And Chair, we see that at some point they keep on forgetting. They do not know what to do. So, Chair, we see that the youth are more important in this time. Since in innovation we have different technologies, we have different things, AI, ICT, and with these different stuff in energy. So, Chair, we see that the youth are more important in this stage. So now, Chair, we see that the youth, these are the people from the age of 18 to the age of 30. And Chair, looking at sustainability, This is the long-term impact of agriculture. What will our products give us? Will it give us a short-term impact or will it give us a long-term impact? So Chair, we see that with the youth, we should have a long-term impact of benefits rather than when we have the old people. So Chair, looking at innovation, these are the different ideas, technologies at the end of the day that are going to help us promote efficiency and sustainability. So now Chair, looking at the youth, this is the largest population we have today in Uganda, looking at Uganda. So Chair, we see that the youth are more important in this crisis. They involve themselves more in developmental activities. Right now, we have the old people leading us in innovation, but then rather we see that there is no low development in agriculture. So Chair, we see that the youth are more important. We need to bring in the youth to lead us in innovation. But then Chair, I'm not meaning that the old people will not be involved, but rather we need the youth to lead innovation in agriculture so that they can later collaborate with the old people. Because we see these people are too influential since they are the largest population. But then, Chair, I also want you to look at the way the youth right now, look at the other old people used to do their things as old fashioned. So we see that if the youth look at it as a new model, we see that the youth are going to easily embrace it. And at the end of the day, we see that we shall be getting a long-term impact of benefits. We shall be getting our product at the end of the day, and of which at the end of the day we shall see development in Uganda. So Chair, we see that the youth mainly have involved themselves in things like drug addicts. So we see that there's a lot of idleness in Uganda. So if we involve the youth in this, we see that at the end of the day there will be employment, and of which employment we need it for sustainable value chain. So Chair, we see that the youth we would rather choose a baby other than a mother who does not have who's less energetic. So Chair, we choose the youth over the old people. I beg to rest my case.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, thank you so much, Rauza, for well representing maybe blue color. We are going to, at this particular moment, we are going to give the judges some time to come up with their judgment, and then they will announce to us the finalists of this debate, and then speech. We shall have two. We shall have
Can't even look up. My eyes are killing me. You're so serious. I am doing what I'm supposed to do. Plan was working. She had how many points right there? That was this one. Yeah, I was focusing away. It's chore. Yeah. Yeah.
let me request the debaters and the speakers to move away. You will be called upon to have the, you'll be informed of who the finalists are, then, and informed when you are going to have the fight. Let's see, Alicia Joy, senior one, please come behind the trend here. Main trend.
Yes, green flower. Nice. Bye.
I can't even. What do you think?
People please.
Let's waste my money.
Your friends are here. So what's the meaning of
No, that you are not there. Me, you are lying. Yes, sir.
So, Miss, you're with which school?
No, I'm excited about this. This is a lot of talent. The raw material is there. Available what? Raw material. You see, we peel these things in our house and we throw in the dustbin. And here they come up with farmers.
Please don't touch the change. You go there and buy it. Very necessary topic. Then resolutions to come right now.
Aya yeta.
So we are here enjoying our break. Yeah, as you can see, we're having a lot of snacks. I wish you were here next time. If you didn't have a chance to come to the camp, next time there is always another chance to come to the camp. It's nice news. Epic. Hi guys. Hello.
It's okay. Can I take? Can I keep taking?
Yellow doesn't, since people that don't like the no people like the green one. Yeah.
House in my 3, 2, 1, and go. This house means that innovation in agriculture is being placed into sustainability in the value chain. Now, here, before a resolution comes up, means there is a problem in status quo. Currently in Uganda today, we are having the old generation leading agriculture, and I want to bring to you describe the old generation. These are people who believe they cannot be corrected. They believe they know everything because there is a saying, you cannot teach an old dog new barking skills. It means these people cannot be corrected even when we're having problems like climate change in status quo. These are people who are continuing to do things that degrade the environment. These are people who are actually less exposed as compared to the youth of today. These are people who do not know technology like the youth of today. And these are people who are actually lack technological knowledge or use traditional systems of farming. And that is why in status quo today we're having things like post-harvest losses, we're having environmental degradation, we're having climate change, we're having inefficiencies in agriculture supply chain. Now here, the reason why this resolution comes up today is to empower the youth in ensuring sustainable value chain. Now here, I want to describe innovation. Innovation is Innovation is simply using new technologies, methods, or business models to improve farming efficiency, productivity, and sustainability. And by being youth-led, we do not say that the youth are going to act alone, no, because we are aware youth have things like inexperience, youth have things like financial burden, and that is why I want to say that we want to promote intergenerational cooperation. Much as the youth are being the primary leaders of agriculture, they're being at the front line, they're not being left out. That is what I'm suggesting today. And they're going to be helped by things like the government in funding. For example, the government can put up demonstration farms, the government can fund them through circles, and that is how they're going to solve the problem of financial burden. And now they also have a problem of lack of experience, and we are going to solve that through intergenerational cooperation. Why are these old people who have the experience of farming and the technological skills are going to help these youths to use the technology to advance agriculture? Okay. Countries like India, Kenya, Tanzania, and South Africa have already incorporated youth in the agriculture, and they're having a sustainable value chain. And today, agriculture in these countries is way better than how it was 10 years ago. Now, here, I want to describe the youth. Youth are people who are highly creative. Youth are people who do not sit on the excuse. Youth are people who are curious and they want to do practically everything that they think about. Youth are people who are actually innovative. Youth are actually adaptable. Yeah, you cannot tell me that you're going to teach an old person how to use irrigation. Yet this person has been using maybe watering can for the past 20 years. That is why we say that an old dog cannot be taught how to bark. But these youth are actually adaptable. They can learn anything new in the shortest time possible. If we empower them and they have openness to learning, if we empower them to these new schools in agriculture, even you're going to have a sustainable value chain at the end of the day. Now, Chair, I would take you to my arguments. One is why we empower the youth. They have technological ability. Yeah, the youth of today have been exposed to ICT skills. They have been exposed to internet, and that is what.
You remind them at 3. Yeah. You can go through. It's okay what you have seen.
Are they coming?
No, because we
Okay. Okay, thank you, Sharfa, for battling it again. We are going to expect at this particular moment the other participant, who is none other than Nagano Elena Wisdom. Something unique about these two are our own student leaders. Sharifa is the vice CP, Students Council, and then Nagano Elena here is the assistant head prefect of this school.
Three minutes.
Because I know you're familiar with the Iganga market.
Yeah. This house believes that innovation in agriculture should be youth-led to ensure sustainability in the value chain. When you talk about being youth-led, that means you're looking for exclusivity of the youth. That means they should be able to spearhead the fight in ensuring that there is sustainability in the value chain. But then, let's look at the problem at hand. Because before they bring out any resolution, that means there must be a problem in status quo. And you must understand in today's status quo, there's a fall in the value chain. We understand that the current generation, who are the elders, are the ones being in charge of handling the value chain. But realize there's a problem with that. Because a country like Uganda, whose backbone is agriculture, and it's noted to follow, that means there's a problem with the current generation. So we as Team Affirmative, we believe that by allowing the youth to spearhead the fight, we are going to have a sustainable value chain. But then, let's look at this. We believe when you look at this, whereby we have a mother bird, and she's training her bird to fly. She does not just hold it by the hand and take it to fly. No, she lets it down so that it can try flying on its own. And then from there, it will be able to gain its wing and start flying. So, that's why I believe today. We believe that by allowing these youth to try out something on their own, to spearhead this fight, we are giving them an opportunity to start something on their own. We're giving them a chance to be able to promote change in their generation whereby they're going to this thing. So we believe that these youth are people who are energetic. These are people who come with their resilience and new strength and energy, whereby they are trying to promote change. So people who have this new energy, who are trying to bring out something new, if we give them the energy and the spirit to spearhead the fight, they're going to have a better, sustainable value chain. You must understand these youth are people who are adaptive. When a certain situation comes at their hand, they'll be able to adjust and fit in that particular society. So by giving them this ability to spearhead that fight, you're going to be giving them an opportunity to adapt this new change, to adapt to this new leading. So let's just understand these are people who are collaborating and are good at networking. That means these are people the elders may think that the youth cannot do anything on their own, but these are people who love working together. So by empowering them, we shall be able to get an opportunity for these youth to work as a team, work with the fellow youth, since we know that youth are the greatest number of people. And let's understand that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. By giving these youth an opportunity to start up something on their own, to lead something, you are starting at a journey of 1,000 miles. So by giving this opportunity to start something on their own, you are going to be able to have a sustainable value chain. And you look at this, when we empower the youth, for them they are the ones who are going to think for the next generation. These elders are going to become deceased one day. So we're looking at long-term benefits. These youth are creative. They're going to come up with new, better ideas. So just let them spearhead the fight, that we can have a better, sustainable value chain. With that, I rest my case.
Okay, thank you, and Wisdom Nakano, for your time and speech. As betters, we normally look at a number of things and we have a number of debate formats that we use in debating. But to be specific today, the young ladies and gentlemen who have been here to debate today have basically been using what we would call high school format. However much, we reduced the number from 3, that is standard, to 1 because of time. It's always good that young people like you get engaged in this and you learn these different debating formats. That's Calipopa, Crossfire, British Parliamentary, and then this high school debate format. It's very good one to help you to learn, express yourself, builds your confidence, increases on your knowledgeability, and also, of course, the most important thing, the ability to express yourself comfortably in different situations. And above all, the skill you learn of researching is also very important. At this particular moment, allow me to take this opportunity to welcome our dear members of board and PTA who are around. It's not in my mandate to mention their titles, but allow me just to recognize their presence. You are most welcome. I also want to welcome the teachers who are here, present both from Iganga and other institutions. And in particular, I've seen, some of us moved away, Mr. Mulunga and Paul, teacher of biology. I don't know where he has gone, but he has moved out of this place. At this particular moment, the judges are going to be coming up with the final, final mention of who have qualified for the finals. We are going to have finalists for speech and finalists for debate. These are going to debate the moment the chief guest is here after just inspection of the stalls or exhibition. They will have this debate and then we move on. The purpose of this is very simple. Ladies and gentlemen, it is always our role that we help each other modify our abilities in the different sectors. One, we are here for agriculture farm camp, but then it does not stop us from showing our intellectual abilities in discerning or demystifying what is given to us. And that has been quite well exhibited by the young people who have been speaking here. I am likely going to hand over the communication today, therefore, the debate session and speech to Mr. Daza Simon, who also happens to be one of our directors of this institution. I think none other than Wandera and Lulu. I handle general problems, that's why I call them general paper, English language and literature. So at this particular moment, allow me, before I invite hand over to Mr. Magaza, try to share with the judges and they come up. I will not pronounce them. They might change, so I will need the judges to pronounce or who are the finalists and speak. Thank you. I'm going to give Judge you can see how English language. I'm going to give it to the science queen. Science queen, please say that these things are for language. Let me give to the language queen this afternoon to say something about it. The finalists.
So I'm going to announce the final debate, and I will also give the resolution for the final. I'll begin with the speech. We have Lamlondo Peace from Navy Blue, and the other person is Nafula Miriam from Taco. Congratulations to the finalists. And then the finalists for I'll begin with who has won the tie. That is Pegenia Sharifa. So Sharifa, you'll be going for the finals of debate with Sean Adapting. So the reason is the people have heard, please come and get your resolution. Hurry up. But there are some people that make for the speech is the role of the youth in unlocking opportunities for the sustainable agricultural value chain. The people have
Okay, can I have the following people that have been ready to come here? Tall, Ajak Deng, number of the peace, Begemia, Sharifa, and then the other person, Nafula Miriam. Please come and clearly pick up your resolution, and then also we are going to pause for debate. Who is going to ask speech in the farmer and who is the speech in the debater. So that is very important here. So let's come and do that simply this particular time. Right about now, to inform you this, that our chief guest is just right there at the corner and is about to reach here, and therefore we should get settled. We should get settled. Let us get done with that exercise very fast, and we settle in our respective class. We are going to sit in our respective colors and in an orderly way. After his arrival, definitely, Mr. Badano Simon is going to guide us how to go about the whole exercise. But remember this, I want to remind you that we have the anthem, then we also have touring of the stores, and then we shall have the final debate, and then we shall have the communication straight forward James. Then we shall have a communication who will usher in a representative from the board of the PTA, and then we shall have the guest from we shall have a director Nyanya Agricultural Research and Development Institute, and then lastly, we shall have a speech or communication from our chief guest over the day. And from there, we shall go for lunch. After lunch, we shall have the other final activities. That's the dinner, the marketing, and then dinner. And we call it a camp from 2025. The colors there. Can I say cream? Cream, where are you? Don't vibe. Cream, oye. Cream, oye. You might leave for me the gift. Can I have navy blue? Where are you? Good, good. Can I have Sakwa? Are you really the best? Because I can see Joel here. I can still see Miriam also here. Sakwa has been well represented both for the better state. Green. Green, where are we? So wow. Nature. There they are, the ladies and gentlemen. And then can we have the gray color? Where are we gray? You know, gray color is very symbolic in this school. It's the color for elders. Also, yes, elders of this institution wear gray. And we really respect them. First is for the elder sisters and brothers. Okay. At this particular moment, therefore, allow me hand over this microphone to our main master of ceremonies, and that is Mr. Badaza Simon.
That's what they done.
I think it's my one.
We can now request those who are moving up and down to stop. Can we now settle in our tents? Please, first, stop the movements. Let us stop the movements. We want to see you settled in your color. Great. I can see many of the seats there for
You're supposed to make somebody there.
all campers who are still outside and at the different points. If you are not so needed there, please report to your tent. I can see those who are relaxing under shades and whatever. Please report to the tent. You will get back there later. And we report to our tents. Security at the gate. Let us stop to the exit and only allow entrance. Security, let us stop the exits and only allow entrance. The various colors, please, who are still hanging around there, report to your tents. Report to your tents. Report to the tents. We shall also request the members who are selling the different items. First, release those customers. The customers will come back later.
Sustainable agriculture. Yes, the other one gets both why and how. This, for example, it is talk about the strength and